So yeah, Wiki Weekends. What are we talking about today, Lucas?
Santa Claus?
That's correct, but not just any Santa, Marvel Santa. Right, so Lucas, you originally wanted to do something Christmassy and suggested the Wikipedia page on Santa Claus, but
yes,
I had a better idea and I thought, why don't we do the Marvel Wiki page on Santa Claus? Because fun fact, people at home, Santa exists in the Marvel Comics universe. And we're about to discuss, the background to that now, because I bet you didn't know this, did you, Lucas?
No, I was like, oh, let's do Santa Claus. You went, tell you what, we'll do Marvel Santa. What?
What? Yeah,
Sorry?
and we'll start with the photo at the top of the page, which will be behind me right now. I'm just going to show you dead quick, Lucas. That's Marvel Santa.
What the fuck?
And it's a screaming, naked, bearded man with a Santa hat on saying, fuck Christmas and fuck those crybabies. So already, we're off to a rollicking good start.
A very Christmassy video, Karl.
Right, so we've got this. Real name, unknown. Current alias, Santa Claus. Aliases, Saint Nick, Quinton Hod, Chris Kringle, Papai Noel, Perry Noel, San Nicolas, Vandy Kerfis, Vios Paraskiro, and Dear Wiccan Nakan.
Right, so I've probably just cut like half an hour out of that where you just kept reading.
I'm pretty sure these are just different words for Father Christmas in various languages. So this Christmas, I have butchered everybody's native tongue that's watching this, so you're welcome. And relatives, Mrs. Claus. Affiliation, a large group of reindeer. Base of operations, the North Pole. Addendum, Santa's workshop. Status, identity, secret identity. Marital status, married. Occupation. Do you want to guess what his occupation is, Lucas?
Gift giver?
Close, gift bringer.
Okay.
So you're on that. Characteristics, male. Height, 6 foot, with an addendum saying variable, which means he can change size if he wants to. Similarly, weight is 250 pounds, but that's also variable. Eyes, blue, hair, white. Origins, mutant, universe 616.
Oh, he's a mutant?
So he is, yes.
Ah, okay.
But he's a mutant of unfathomable power, as we're about to discuss. So, already, Lucas, any thoughts?
Is just a very strange take on Santa.
I think, though, the idea of Santa being a mutant makes sense, given all the other mutants in that universe. Is it really that hard to believe that, given we've got that's a world where Nightcrawler exists? We've got a guy who's a mutant.
What? Is his power like the gift power?
Well, we can discuss that in a bit, but we're going, history, legend. No, not Siri, I said history. Not hey Siri.
Try searching the App Store.
I would not like to I said history, not hey Siri. Man, even my iPhone's taking piss out my accent. Go away, Siri. History, the legend. Santa Claus is a legendary figure who is said to bring gifts to the homes of well-behaved children on Christmas. Unknown to the people of Earth, Santa Claus was given being because of humanity's belief in the deeds of 3 different characters in history. These 3 people, whom belief in Santa created the true magical being of Santa Claus, are who the people of Earth think Santa Claus actually is or is originated from.
So is this like Saint Nicholas and 2 other people like...
Well, oddly enough, yes, Lucas, because the first legendary figure is Saint Nicholas. So one theory of the people of Earth is that Santa Claus origins came from a 4th century man named Saint Nicholas. And we all know, like, the story of Saint Nicholas, he was a saint who, gave gifts to children, who's known for his his help with philanthropy towards the poor, and also I believe he's the patron saint of prostitutes, if I recall correctly.
Giving gifts to all men.
Yeah, there we go. The world's oldest profession, supported by Santa. And then the other legendary source, Luke, if you want to take a guess, I'll give you a clue. It's a Marvel character who's known for their epic white beard. Other sources believe the origin of Santa's was simply inspired by the All-Father of Asgard, Odin, after a special night where he saved a village's midwinter feast from not happening. Which makes sense, I guess. It's like, oh no, the feast's going to happen this year. Giant man comes from the sky with a beard. You'd think that could be Santa, that could be Santa. And do you want to have a guess what the other possible origin is?
Is it like Chris Kringle or something?
Yeah, it's, no. It's something similar, but it's like possible origin in British elders. So another theory is the origin of Santa Claus from pre-medieval Britain. It said there was a custom among tribes to community elders dressed up in furs as a character called Old Winter. So I believe that's an actual theory of where Santa Claus comes from, melded with another actual theory of where Santa Claus comes from, melded with the Marvel universe to create this cohesion to make it somewhat believable in the context of the comics. So. The generation of Santa Claus. So when humanity's belief in the 3 listed legends mixed together with spiritual energy, the true magical being known as Santa Claus was created. The being was the physical manifestation of giving, as that was the common aspect of what all the fables believed in. After being generated into existence, Santa initially set up his base of operation in Finland's eastern frontier at a city called Korvatunaturi. He rode a horse around and began delivering gifts to people on Christmas morning. Later, he took a wife and they moved to the North Pole.
He took a wife?
I want to know, what badass managed to, like, you know, just get this guy to settle down? Fucking hell. It's like when you play God of War and they spend the entire time talking about Faye, his wife. Like, what fucking Xena warrior princess-esque badass managed to get Kratos to settle the fuck down? It's like, what, like, Daenerys Targaryen, like, motherfucker managed to calm that man?
Karl, you know she's way more badass than fucking Daenerys.
Well, it's more the fact that, like, Daenerys just like, oh yeah, you need to mount your man. You need to, like, you know, make Khal Drogo your bitch. I want to know what woman did that to Kratos. Anyway, Santa established a workshop in the North Pole. He then brought together a workforce of elves, which apparently just exists in the Marvel. We don't need to discuss the origin of elves. There's not even like a blue word on the elves to click it to find out more about it. So no, just elves exist, you idiot.
Of course they do.
Of course they do.
And they're just waiting for Santa to come along.
No, to create toys throughout the year in preparation for each Christmas, the majority of these elves were descended from the light elves of Alfheim. Oh, so we do know the origin.
Yeah.
So the elves like exist in like a realm of Asgard.
So you got the dark elves, the light elves, the Santa elves.
The Santa elves. It's classic. It's classic. On Christmas Eve, Santa magically fills a dimensionally limitless sack with toys and travels the planet via his sleigh, driven by 8 flying reindeer, delivering the toys to good boys and girls, bending the laws of space and time to accomplish this feat over the course of one night. I
love how you're laughing when you say that, but that's like essentially the exact same thing that Santa does.
But it's just like, you know, there's a little bit of Marvel magic put in there. Santa Claus magically sits down the chimneys using magic passkeys to enter apartments and deliver the toys around a tree or in stockings. So we all know this bit, don't we? Yeah. We all know like Santa, like, he sneaks in. So what was like, you know, the legend or like the story you got told when you were a kid about how Santa got into your house?
Well, he comes down the chimney.
Comes down the chimney, all right. So we had a chimney too, but I think when I was very, very young, we were in a flat. I was like, oh, how did Santa get in? Yeah. He said, oh, he's got a key. So we haven't got a chimney. He can come through the front door, and that terrified me.
I see. I heard that, but then I watched Santa Claus. That does the whole like, oh well, I haven't got a chimney, but then he makes a chimney. No, he like creates a chimney to come down and comes down a fucking chimney that doesn't exist. Just
teleports in. It's like Diagon Alley, he just teleports in. One thing that I had when I was a kid that made me believe in Santa so much is, did you ever have a chance to put your Christmas list up the chimney?
Not up the chimney, no. We always like left it on the table like for Santa to get.
Because if you've got an old-fashioned style chimney, what happens is obviously a lot of air goes up there. Because obviously to like draw the fire and like the fumes and crap away from your living room. So what our grandma had like an old-fashioned chimney, and so what we do is we write our Christmas list and you go and put the letter up the chimney, and the wind takes it and it flies up and obviously flies off like down the road and gets hit by.
Right, okay.
But when you're a little kid. And your mum tells you, if you put your letter, when you put your Christmas list and you've been a good boy, Santa will take it, and you feel a gush of wind, snap it out of your fan and it flies away, you fucking believe in Santa. So the rest of that section just continues, like, basically, the Santa Claus legend and mythology that, like, you know, we have.
Pretty standard stuff, yeah.
I guess everyone watching this is already somewhat familiar with, like, you know, with some variations based on the story that you've been told when you were a kid. So let's move on to Marvel's history of Santa, and that starts, funnily enough, in World War II.
Oh?
Yeah, Santa, World War II, this video's going places.
I mean, that's where Magneto came from.
So but bear in mind, this is the Marvel wiki page for Santa Claus. To keep that in mind as I read this next sentence to you, Lucas. In December 1943, Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler had Santa Claus captured to destroy the USA's morale. But US President Franklin Delano Roosevelt sent Sergeant Nick Fury, Captain America and Bucky Barnes to rescue him. Just let that sink in, Lucas. It is Marvel canon in the mainline 616 universe that Adolf Hitler kidnapped Santa and Captain America rescued him. Do you want to know what the next section is after World War II, Lucas? So we've gone from World War II to like the 1950s. Where do you think
Santa's... like the Cuban Missile Crisis?
It might as well be S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
You know, the giant military organisation. So, in more recent years, on Christmas Eve, Santa saved New York City from the Hate Monger. And are you familiar with the Hate Monger in comics?
I've heard the name Hate Monger.
Well, Hate Monger is a clone of Adolf Hitler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and fun fact, we'll probably do a wiki name because it's fucking like ridiculous. The Hate Monger's special weapon is something called a hate ray, which is a ray gun that makes you racist. I'm not making that up, that's real. We'll talk about that in another video, but today's a Christmas video. So Santa saved New York City from the hate-monger when his sleigh, seen only as an unidentified flying object, soared through the air at unprecedented speed, distracting one of the hate-monger's pilots who crashed into his nuclear bomb. So Santa has had multiple run-ins with Hitler. Oh, like, do you want to guess who else Santa has met? Considering he's a mutant?
Magneto,
Well, the
Professor
X-Men.
X,
Yeah, the X-Men.
The X-Men in
So
general.
the next section is like X-Men. Years later, on another December 24th, because obviously that's Santa's time, Cerebro, the mutant detecting computer of the X-Men, detected the most powerful mutant ever registered in New York's Rockefeller Center. This being was also detected by the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, who sought it out, resulting in a skirmish with the X-Men. This ended when Santa briefly transformed the Brotherhood into inanimate toys and teleported the X-Men away, erased both groups' memory of the involvement, and then gifted the city with snowfall, the first white Christmas in years.
I'm sorry, what?
So Santa beat the combined forces of the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
You just turned them into toys.
Yeah, reality stone, motherfucker, let's go. Do you want to guess who he met next? I'll give you a clue, he's in the MCU. Very briefly, he's in Endgame.
Very briefly.
It's Howard the Duck.
Okay.
Howard the Duck. Fun fact, Howard the Duck's in Endgame, he comes out one of the portals. Affected by the new reality of the ever-changing world, Santa at least once attempted to modernise. He tucked away in a smaller beard, using a more lavish fake beard on Christmas. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals then forced Santa to rebuild his sleigh so that it ran on its own power, not being pulled by reindeer. Fucking Peter in Marvel got Santa. Claus initially used steam until an oil company representative convinced him to switch over to high-octane fuel.
Why is everyone shutting down Santa?
Why does everyone want to hate on Santa, man, in the Marvel Universe? Caught up in this trend, Santa opened up a nuclear power plant at the North Pole. What? The plan was actually controlled over by the greedy Kilowatt, who had been a jumper, a worker hired to enter hot areas of nuclear plants to do various tasks, mutate into a form resembling a light bulb. Santa took in a convict named Pinball Lizard. No. No. I refuse to believe. Pinball Lizard? No. No. After conferring with a parole officer as director of his fun and games department, however, Pinball Lizard fell in love with greedy Kilowatt, who is a light bulb, who uses powers to change Pinball into a lizard-like being, as well as mutating many of Santa's elves into trolls. After attempting to destroy Santa by putting an insufficient amount of gas in his sleigh so he would crash, so he cut Santa's brake line, basically. Pinball Lizard took over the workshop and forced elves who did not become trolls to construct mass-produced shoddy toys while Santa went on his round. Kilowatt intended to take over Christmas in revenge against society. Santa crashed in Cleveland where he encountered Howard the Duck. Discovering that he was out of fuel, Santa realised that since gas rationing was in effect, even Santa couldn't get around that, like the fucking Cuban Missile. You mentioned, you called it! That's why there was a gas crisis then. Howard offered to fill the tank, and he and a young Karl Starkowitz, designer of the Iron Duck armour, went on to the North Pole with Claus. Mrs. Claus told them the Pinball Lizard's rebellion, and Santa, Howard, Karl, and the loyal elves, toys animated by elf magic, and a gun-toting elf named Sunquist, originally from Florida, drove off Pinball Lizard. This goes on for like another 4 paragraphs. So let's just skip to the next section. So, do you want to guess who the next hero Santa encountered was?
It's not going to be better than Pinball Lizard.
It was Spider-Man. So, more recently, a criminal scam artist working as a mall Santa asked children where they live so he could deliver presents. He then appeared at their windows dressed as Santa. Always took a fucking dark turn. Duping the children into letting him in, after which he would loot their house. Oh, no. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, eventually encountered the thief who fled to the roof, where the real Santa Claus, angry at this misuse of his identity, scared the thief into giving up crime before Spider-Man arrived. You know the best bit is? No one will ever believe that criminal.
Yeah.
It's like Santa beat me up. No, he didn't. Do you want to know who he bumped into next? I'll give you a clue. It's one of my favourite characters. And it combines my 2 favourite things, like the colour green and like giant women.
Oh, She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yeah. So for a time, Santa used his knowledge of who was naughty and who was nice to become the world's greatest detective as Nick St. Christopher. In this role, he aided She-Hulk in locating evidence for a murder investigation. Put that in the She-Hulk TV show, Marvel. Entranced by She-Hulk, St. Christopher made a pass at her. Santa tried to get on that giant woman train. Respect, man, respect. But then Mrs. Claus arrived to corral him and punish She-Hulk by filling her office with reindeer droppings. What is this, like, domestic battle?
Don't cross Mrs. Claus.
Just fill your office with reindeer shit. The next few heroes that he met were Ant-Man, Howard the Duck again, the Great Lake X-Men, the Great Lake X-Men, and then Deadpool. So we didn't meet Deadpool because it's very brief. So after not receiving presents, a group of kids hired Deadpool to kill Santa. Deadpool travelled to the North Pole and attempted to kill Santa, but was stopped when he was turned out an evil elf was stopping presents going out. Deadpool killed the elf instead and returned home.
Those kids were pissed.
Yeah. That's some raw ass shit, that, innit? That is the most just direct response I can think of to not getting what you want for Christmas. Kill Santa.
I was on the naughty list. Well, fuck you then.
Santa Claus has access to a wide range of supernatural artifacts which he uses to accomplish various feats of magic. Though often depicted as Caucasian in appearance, Santa actually appears to most people in their own racial features. Oh, that's going to piss off conservatives then. Yeah, black gay Santa, he exists. Do you hear about that? Like, someone got, Joe, every single year you'll always see like the Fox News headline of like just some mall somewhere will get a black guy to play Santa.
Oh yeah.
And they'll go, oh, that's not Santa, and they'll never get to the point of saying no, Santa's white.
Yeah.
But they'll say no, it's not traditional. Someone wrote a book about a black gay Santa celebrating Christmas with his husband.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, stick it to him anyway.
You guys.
So although he does change his racial features, he usually retains his white hair and beard. He radiates a subtle, charismatic, charming effect on people, able to soften hardened criminals and convert them if needed. So basically, he just radiates the Christmas aura. The Christmas spirit just exudes from this man's body. He commands a sleigh pulled by a number of magic flying reindeer. It has, though, a little tidbit here, which is one of my favourite historical facts about Santa, and that is the original names of Donner and Blitzen, which is like Dunder and Blixelm. And do you know what that means? That's like, it's like some old language, and do you know what it means? Thunder and lightning.
Oh, that's
Which means
cool.
that Santa's sleigh is pulled by thunder and fucking lightning. Santa briefly used a gasoline-powered sleigh, and he has also once empowered a pack of huskies to pull his sleigh. Whew!
That's fucking cool.
That's pretty good. All right, so the last section here is like Santa is also served by a number of magical elves who construct the toys he gives out. Though some have differing origins, the elves are descended from the light elves of Asgard Alfheim, and they're resistant to aging and conventional disease. It's not bad, that.
Why is it not called Elfheim?
Well, that's where the word elf comes from. The elf Sunquist, in particular, is solar-powered and can animate toys and rearrange matter. Solar-powered elf, baby. Hell yeah. In addition, Sunquist is a member of ELF, the Elf Labour Federation, which protects elves, an exploited minority. So even elves have a fucking labour union, man.
Yeah.
So that they might offer their services only to the extent that they did not cause humanity to become unduly reliant on elf kind. Basically, it's just like that thing from Harry Potter, innit? Of like, yeah, like, house elves are fucking OP as shit. They need a union. In addition, across America and other places, regular men and women serve as Santa's helpers, meeting with children, learning what they want for Christmas, and passing this information on to Santa himself. So I like that, because that means that, do you know that thing that parents tell you, oh, that guy dressed as Santa, he's Santa's helper?
Yeah.
In the Marvel Universe, that shit's canon. They actually do know who he is,
yeah.
and they do pass the information on to him. That's awesome, that's really wholesome.
He's got spies everywhere, Karl.
I just love that idea as well, he's the most powerful mutant ever registered. And he comes down and just kicks the shit out of someone and then just leaves.
He just exudes Christmas spirit, turns them all to toys and fucks
Yeah,
off.
I like the idea as well that like, he could just go up to Magneto and kick his shit in and then leave. And then Magneto would be super embarrassed about it and never talk about it. But yeah, Merry Christmas everyone. That was actually really fun.
Oh, was it?
That was good, I learned some stuff today.